As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. How bad is it, Secretary Van Houten?
We're broke.
That was part of an episode of The Simpsons that actually aired 18 years ago in March of 2000 when The Simpsons correctly predicted a Donald Trump presidency. During a 2016 interview, Simpsons writer Dan Greeny called the scene a, quote, warning to America. Well, we recently sat down with one of the original writers of the longest-running animated sitcom of all time, Mike Reiss. He's the author of the new book, Springfield Confidential, Jokes, Secrets, and Outright Lies from a Lifetime of Writing for The Simpsons. And we began our conversation talking about the number of predictions that his show has gotten right. Didn't you guys predict if Fox was going to buy Disney?
Oh my gosh.
Disney was going to buy Fox, and we predicted the U.S. would win the gold medal in curling. But that's it. We got 3 things right in 30 years. We get one thing right every decade, and that makes us some of the best psychics in America.
Pretty darn good. So talk about the book, the extraordinary run, and the fact that my 10-year-old and I, and we pull Mika into this too, can select from 30 seasons of Simpsons. Who could have ever believed when you guys started?
It's incredible.
And it was, I guess, a skit on Tracy Ullman's show that 30 years later, you're still here.
Nobody saw it coming. Nobody saw it coming. And in fact, I tell the story too much that 2 weeks before the show came on the air, we were sitting in our writer's trailer because Fox wouldn't even commit to a real room. So we're in a trailer, and if the show failed, they were planning to just back the trailer up to the ocean and drown us all. But I said, how long do you think the show is going to last? And everybody said 6 weeks. 6 weeks was, and we had made 13, so we never even thought they'd show everything we made. So we're in our 1500th week right now, and it's still, I think, the #1, #2 show on Fox.
So what happened? When did you realize, hey, wait a second,
this is
something crazy's happening here?
We sort of, it was funny. We had a premiere party the night the show debuted in a bowling alley. Again, this is how much faith Fox had in us. We're in a bowling alley, and they showed the show on these monitors where you usually see your score, and everyone's sitting there going, hey, this is pretty good. None of us realized till that moment the show was any good. And then they came in with the reviews from all over the country, and they said, the critics figured it out. They said, this is a game changer. We go, wow. And then the next morning we found out we had debuted to the highest ratings in the history of the Fox network. So it took a half hour before we took America. It was a slow struggle.
There's so much animated comedy now, Mike, that it's easy to forget that what you guys did was revolutionary. And people didn't maybe get the concept at first that you're going to have cartoon characters. We were used to being sort of sweet, cuddly people, but in this sort of razor-sharp-edged comedy. Was it, I mean, it was kind of a step off the cliff at that moment.
Oh, it sure was. Yeah, I got the call to do the job from Sam Simon, one of the creators. And I said, well, you don't know me. Why are you calling me? He said, because everyone else has turned this job down. And that was it. And I took it. It was just supposed to be a summer job. And I didn't tell anyone what I was doing. I thought, I have hit rock bottom, and so we just had fun. I think it may be sort of the key.
That's sort of the key, right? Nothing to lose. Swing for the fences.
We said, no one's going to see this, so let's just fill it with the kind of stuff we want to see on TV. We'll never get this chance again.
Run through some of the people who were sitting in that writer's room.
We had Conan O'Brien there. That's about it. You haven't heard of any of the other 99 people who've written for the show. We had Conan O'Brien and Greg Daniels, who created The Office and King of the Hill. But mostly it's just a bunch of guys you never heard of. I have officially become the most famous writer ever for The Simpsons by being here.
So answer the question, where is Springfield?
Where is Springfield? Okay.
Springfield, right here.
Dad, you're not pointing anywhere near Springfield. It's over here, Apu. Hey, what you doing?
Nobody watches this show, right? So I can tell you, because it's a closely guarded secret.
Exactly.
We know in the writer's room, and the answer is Springfield is in Hawaii.
What? No.
It's nowhere. It's like Manny.
It's everywhere but nowhere.
It's Ohio.
We chose the name because there are 48 Springfields in America in 43 states, which means 5 states have 2 Springfields.
Yeah. Wait. Is there one or two episodes that stand out for you?
There's 2 years I didn't work on the show. 2 years I went off and
which seasons?
Season 6 and 7, I think.
Those were great years.
They're the best years.
They were incredible.
The show is so much better without me.
Yeah.
And, so there's one. There's a Halloween show I really love. We did 3D Homer in it,
Right.
and that was pretty exciting. It was funny because the software to do that cost $750,000 at the time, and now it's a free app. So that was a good one. And I don't know, I like the one, certainly, when we had Thomas Pynchon on the show.
Mm-hmm.
We had him on twice, a guy who won't be interviewed, won't be photographed. He came on our show twice because he said, I got to do something to impress my kids.
Yeah.
So let's go through the characters. What do you like about Homer?
Homer's a comedy writer's dream. He's got everything wrong with him. He's fat, he's bald, he's stupid, he's angry, he's drunk, he's lazy. I think he's got all 7 deadly sins. And then in season 4, we had him walk into a pet shop, and the pet shop owner goes,
Oh my, what is that smell? Oh, it's you.
so one of the writers goes, oh, I guess he smells now, too.
Oh, my God. Okay.
I'm going to say, my favorite, speaking of the 7 deadly sins,
Yeah.
I think my favorite moment, and it is impossible, because again, we've seen them all, and my sons have seen them all. I think my favorite moment was when Homer sold his soul to the devil for a donut.
Now remember, the instant you finish it, I own your soul for...
But the devil says he immediately goes down to hell, and he's chained to a conveyor belt, and the devil goes, oh, you like donuts, do you? And he presses the button, and of course, it's supposed to be here, and he keeps eating the donuts. And then it's like 30 minutes later, and the devil's looking at his watch. He's like, basically, this always works. And like the devil ran out of donuts on him.
So,
That is Homer's Simpson.
That's Homer. Marge. What do you think about Marge?
What about Marge? She's great. She's great. She's the reason everybody's mother watches the show.
Exactly. Okay, Bart.
Bart is the guy all the writers wish they were in school. They wish they had been Bart, but they were all little Lisas who were too smart and had no friends.
Okay,
and then
so
one day they grew up and they're Homer. All of a sudden.
man.
Yeah.
We never had a Bart phase.
And poor Lisa. Talk about Lisa.
Lisa's the heart and soul of the show. And again,
Is she really?
Yes.
You consider her the heart and soul of the show.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, you don't see that?
That was it very early in the run of the show. James L. Brooks came to me and my partner Al Jean and said, I have a plot for an episode you got to write. And we go, great, what is it? He goes, Lisa is sad. It's a great use of the animated medium. Yeah. But we did that episode and it changed the series. That's where people sort of woke up and said, oh, this show can touch my heart.
Right. She brings out the best in Homer.
Yes.
Maggie.
Maggie, it hit me the other day. If these characters age like real people, Maggie would be a 31-year-old person who never talks. So she'd be Jared Kushner.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
It's like a brilliant mind. So they never get old.
There's no reason to think about the end of this show because you're still going strong. But have you guys talked over the years about how you might end The Simpsons?
We have been talking about it for 29 years, and it's no joke to say nobody's ever had a good idea. I think it's one reason the show keeps running is because we don't know how to end it. No one has had one good suggestion for it.
Wow.
So William Shatner was the first celebrity to refuse to do the show, would not do self-parody.
He would not do self-parody. Now he is self-parody.
Yeah, and Springsteen also a holdout.
Yes, Springsteen is the guy we go after year. He always says no.
And George Lucas as well.
George Lucas, there's 3 celebrities who asked to be on the show. and then we wrote them apart, and they turned it down. And George Lucas was the best part, where we had him hanging around with Comic Book Guy, and he was always talking about Star Wars, but he didn't seem to really know the film. And he's always saying to us,
That's hilarious.
he said, just the Comic Book Guy, he says, you and me, we're like the guys in my movie, you know, the guy in the vest and the big dog.
So, you know, Mike, we perhaps the greatest Simpsons fan on the show, despite the fact I've seen every one, is our executive producer, Alex Corson, who I can actually say, we need a clip from, like, I think it was the 8th season, and he'll immediately go, oh, yeah. And so, Alex Corson, I don't know that we've done this before, but you've got to ask a couple of questions to Mike, because you are our Simpsons supercomputer.
Oh boy, well, put me on the spot. So you had the Simpsons movie. Any talk of a sequel there?
There's no talk of it. It was so hard to do the first one. They'd been asking us for 15 years to do a Simpsons movie, and we just kept saying no, no, no. We said, what can we show people that we can't show them on TV? And finally we said, oh, Bart's Wiener. So we did that.
Oh, my God.
We got nothing left. I think sooner or later, yeah, we'll make another one, but there's no plans.
Okay.
I got one more here.
Yeah?
Yeah, go ahead.
To make it a little bit on the political side of things, there's been a lot of discussion about Apu's character lately, and the appropriateness of that kind of representation or mocking. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a documentary out, I think, on Netflix right now about the problem with Apu, and it's a great documentary, but it's about 3 years too late, because we became aware of it 3 years ago, and we did a whole episode addressing it. We had an Indian character come on and say, Apu, you sound like a white guy doing a bad Indian accent.
You are ashamed of me. Me, who has been as loyal to you as Ganga Din to Sergeant Archibald Cutter.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. You're my uncle, bruh, and I love you, but you're a stereotype.
And then we retired Apu. There's all these complaints. This guy's making a documentary. Apu hasn't been on the show in 3 years. We put him out to pasture. No one seems to notice.
Yeah.
So the documentary is like making a documentary saying Val Kilmer shouldn't play Batman anymore. It's like nobody's asking.
That's hilarious.
And by the way, Apu did bring McCartney.
Yes, he
to The
did.
Simpsons, so he's got that going for him.
For 20 years, Apu was the only Indian on television. He was a very popular character. Indian people would thank me for putting Apu on. And times change. It's an old show. The world has changed, and we're trying to slowly keep up with it.
All right.
The book is Springfield Confidential, Jokes, Secrets, and Outright Lies from a lifetime of writing for The Simpsons. Mike Reese, thank you. It's great to meet you.
What a joy.
Glad we caught up at
Thank you.
Bangor International Airport.
That's right. If you meet them in an airport, they'll put you on the show.
That's what happens.
Exactly. Very easy.
You just nailed it. That's the secret of Morning Joe.